I'm Alex Treadway. I'm the Associate Publisher at Route 50, and I'm here today with Gray Sigler. Gray is the head of Public Sector Strategy and Programs at CenturyLink. Gray, if you will, tell me a little about your role at CenturyLink.
Well, my responsibility at CenturyLink is really what you described there, to lead the go-to-market strategy for procurement, state and local government, and education.
Perfect. So here at NASCIO Midyear, and we're hearing a lot about technology. We're hearing about how that's impacting the public sector. It's impacting them on every sector. It's their citizen services, it's their workforce, it's internal operations. We're also seeing that there are all these innovative technology solutions, but there's so many of them. How will government keep pace with all these changes, and how will suppliers help them throughout the fact they have all these traditional procurement processes? What can a supplier do to help?
I think a supplier can help really by being aware of that situation, that it's a difficult transition that state and local government is going through with the technology changes. And if we can put contracts in place to make that easy for them, that would certainly be beneficial. A cooperative contracting, consortium type contracting has been a help in that respect.
Great. So over the past 5 to 7 years, we've seen the private sector move rapidly towards customer-centric design, open source, agile practices. Do you see this transition coming to government? And if so, how will it affect the way the state goes about procuring technology?
Yeah, I would think if you asked that question a few years ago, you might have said or might have heard that no, states are a little bit slow to adopt. But in recent years, states are rapidly looking for ways to transition to those technologies and those services. And so if we can continue to work with them from a procurement perspective and collaborate together, I think we can find good solutions to be able to allow state and local government to adopt those services quickly.
Perfect. Now, a 2017 Onvia survey cited that there are 3 biggest challenges for the state procurement officials. The one is that they don't have sufficient time to really come up with the bids or the request for proposals. The other is they have limited staff, and the other is they have a difficulty collaborating. So how can vendors help the state governments overcome these obstacles and help them nimbly and strategically procure technology?
Yeah, I think it's a real issue with state and local government being able to keep up with the technology changing, being able to staff to that, having the folks in-house that can really handle those solutions. And so the vendor community can really help by recognizing that first, have empathy for that, realize that it's going to take some time, but if we can create within our organization support to help states make that migration, providing some of those services they don't have in-house, and allow them to be able to transition and adopt practices and contracts and procurement ways of doing business that can help them, we can all make progress.
Excellent. Much of the vendor ecosystem is defined by rules, requirements, and process laid out by the state and local governments. Often this framework prevents government from keeping pace with the changes around them. What is the most effective technology procurement methods, whether it's innovative RFPs, group procurement, agile development, or others that you've seen for state governments?
Yeah, I think you mentioned it there, and I talked about it a little bit earlier too, that cooperative purchasing, ways that we can put procurements together that still stay within the rules that state and local government needs to abide by, but create frameworks of contracts where it's not individual contracts for every technology, but more of a framework that will allow governments to purchase a broad range of services, so we're not repeating RFPs over and over again. And I think working together with government and finding those procurement vehicles and that way of doing business will help the government entity as well as the vendors.
So I'm hearing a lot about collaboration. I hear a lot of collaboration from you. Do you think the states are actually looking for this collaboration? This is something they're embracing?
I think they are. I think they would really like to see the vendor community collaborate with them, help them, give them suggestions. We're being invited to a number of events, roundtables, like today here at NASCIO, to be able to talk about ways that we can procure together. So yes, the vendor community is interested, the states are interested too as well, and I think if we keep working together, we'll find solutions.
So this really feels like a change, and it really feels like this is a change that's not happened 5 to 7 years ago, but really in the last year or so. Is that how you're seeing the timeline?
Yeah, absolutely. I remember a few years ago, if we would have mentioned cloud services, managed services, moving things to the cloud, for instance, the state governments would say, no, we're probably not going to be doing that anytime soon. But now today, with the growth of technology, so many applications going into the cloud, that the government entities are really looking for ways to find a safe, secure way to do that, cost-effective way to do that, and a way to procure those services.
Thanks. I appreciate it.